Yeah, I'm just trying to give the other.
But when Lockup visited Kentucky State Penitentiary, we met Fleece Johnson, a longtime inmate who practices a very different kind of homosexuality.
But we have sexual desires, right? So you got a bunch of men locked up in one place. All of them get hard. All of them's horny. All of them got sexual desires. So what are they gonna do? You won't let them have a woman. They gonna have somebody's gonna have to give up some booty. And it's just as simple.
The most memorable story that Fleece told us was about the place and importance that booty has in a maximum security penitentiary. And he went on about it and on about it.
In his prison, booty. Booty was more important than food. Booty, a man's butt. It was more important. I'm serious. It was more booty, having some booty was more important than drinking water, man. I like booty.
Johnson went on to tell our crew how he used to satisfy his sexual desires, especially during the 1970s and 80s, when he was most active and prison security was more lax.
When I see one, and he looks good to me, when I go see him, I say, you come here. I say, I'm telling you what, I like you, and I want you. And we can do it the easy way or the hard way. So the choice is yours, right? And it was always yes.
Johnson also had a warning for the new generation of inmates. They might be asking for trouble from old-timers.
You know, they got this thing where they sag their pants past their butt. It's a style. They call it some sort of gangster style. You know, it's sexy to us, right? And see, but they weren't prepared for this, right? So you sag your pants in her, man, somebody be up in your butt, you know, and it's just that simple.
Johnson even let the lockup crew know that when he was in his prime, they wouldn't be safe from his advances either.
If y'all had been in her back then in them days, and as much as I like booty, I probably felt one of y'all butts as y'all was walking past me and dared you to say something. I'm not no shame in my game. This is nothing that I'm ashamed to admit. I am what I am. I'm a warrior too, you know, so let that be known. I'm a warrior.
Shout out to all the warriors out there, man. That's the Hood Mystic, aka Hood Stradamus, aka Hood in the morning, aka Hood in the afternoon. Right now it's Hood in the evening, so we doing it one more time for y'all. Just doing these daily drops like I said I would. Today we taking more of an astrological spin. However, we still dealing with some information. And I like to deal with the conspiracy. Also like to deal with the applicable knowledge of astrology. So peace to the family, man. You know. How did I get here? I don't even know how I got here, family. I don't even know. I was like, damn. Hope the family don't be thinking nothing or whatever, but shit, I'm just like having fun, man, and just trying to put a smile on your face at the end of the day. And, you know, whatever the case may be, that's what the case is. So, you know, as I was reflecting on some of the conversations that I've had in previous videos and referencing like being locked up and actually how to bid or how to actually process through this actual period where if you're thinking about it in a certain type of fashion, it can be somewhat overwhelming. You can go into panic, you can go into fear, you can even go crazy. So yeah, you know, yeah, I mean, people, we're just living this life. You know what I'm saying? Like, just trying to take it one day at a time, just like everybody else. So, you could hit her up, Mama Mystic. I forget her email, but altercreations.net. Everything has been a little bit crazy with business and things of that nature due to like everything shutting down. But in the space of all of this, we still like revamping and doing things. I think it's Mama Mystic _ 911 on Instagram. If you want to reach out to her, you can reach out to her on Instagram. But beyond that, you can't hop on this shit and be expecting nothing, because if you expecting shit, then that's gonna really get you in trouble, especially with these spiritual people putting out long ass videos and trying to be super deep and trying to decode shit that don't even exist. How you sound, you breaking down shit that don't even exist. So you gotta be random, you gotta be spontaneous, and you gotta be more into the flow state. And we really focused on baby number 4 in this particular space and time. And within that, you know, you got to understand protection. You got to understand guidance. Before I went on live, I was thinking about the energy of Bess and also the energy of the scarab beetle. A lot of Egyptian energy circulating through the atmosphere. But with all of that being said, do we even understand what those things mean? So in the reference of this conversation, I hope to bring a resonance of what this energy actually means, and then how you can actually survive. Because with this shit, people act like they got a grip on this shit. They really think that they have a grip, they have an understanding, but they understanding is based upon stimuli and is not based upon internal dialogue. So there could be multiple things happening externally, but what's happening internally can be very much different. So in understanding the scarab beetle, you got to understand shit. You got to understand feces. The scarab beetle is also a dung beetle, but in reference to Saturn conjunct Mars at that particular Sabian symbol, it just represents a golden scarab beetle. Jupiter and Pluto represents the protection and guidance and really focusing on all that you know. So bringing your awareness to these particular spaces, because Saturn and Mars and Jupiter and Pluto are both at exact conjunction. So we're just going to talk about it. So a lot of people talk about beetles and dung beetles and scarab beetles and their phenomenal esoteric meanings and things of that nature, but people don't even understand why the Egyptians even reverenced them. The reasons why they reference dung beetles is because they navigate via the light of the Milky Way. So when we reference Venus, which is conjunct Pleiades, conjunct the Milky Way, in Taurus, we're referencing a deeper light. Some animals use nocturnal lights to navigate, but the dung beetle uses the Milky Way to navigate. And the only animal that does this that we know of is the dung beetle, is the scarab beetle. So when we reference the Milky Way and we reference the cosmic light, we have to reference something beyond our 12 zodiac signs, whether it's Ophiuchus or whether it's the whole constellational gamut of 49 constellations. And I like to deal with 12 sign astrology, but then I also like to deal with its corresponding elements and what it represents. In doing that, you find something deeper, something more broader, and it makes more sense of this astrological journey. Of course, when you deal with just the 12 basic signs, that's some form of a block or a barrier, but it's good to learn it and understand it so you can rise above it. Even more so, when we back to the scarab beetle, the dung beetle is navigating its way through life using the highest level of cosmic light, but yet and still it is eating and birthing its children through shit. So what would be the message in that? You would know how to handle yourself, even in the worst, difficult whatever situation that you might go through, it could be characterized as shit. However, you gotta know that you are a high celestial being operating upon cosmic light. But if you just simply operating on the sun, see, this is what's interesting about this shit. People like really getting high and loving the sun as if that's the radiation or that's the light source of our energy. That's actually not. We supposed to be getting high off the darkness, and for the northwestern energy for the past 3 weeks, people been dealing with the coronavirus. We've been dealing with cloudy skies every single day. Partly cloudy or mainly cloudy. It's like a weird phenomenon. But for me, I kind of get it, because what we're representing is the energy of darkness, the energy of melanin, 24 hours. Now I'm kind of used to it. Like, I wouldn't even necessarily even want a sunny day, because it's more of really tapping into something more sublime, as opposed to just regular old fake matrixy shit. But really getting into the darkness and really unplugging and untapping and finding something deeper, which is another level of the scarab beetle, where all of these energies is tied into the sun, tied into the moon, which is lockdown, which is repetition. The dung beetle comes with a different vibration that is of a higher octave, that's able to take you to different levels. So whether you having the beetle dreams or the Beetlejuice dreams, or you got the scarab beetle statues or the figurines, or you doing your work with your scarab beetles, understand what it represents. It represents a different cosmic light. And no matter what shit you dealing with, you able to rise up and bring it through. So another area for which I want to talk about is the moon, and it's in the second decan of Gemini, but it's going into the third decan of Gemini, which is a very important decan. That decan is ruled by the Ten of Swords. So if you know anything about the Ten of Swords, it's called cruelty. And this cruelty is more or less refined to separating from negative aspects in your life. And the problem with separating from negative aspects in your life is that you tend to love those things. So it's interesting about the third decan of Gemini is that it's ruled by Saturn and Mars. Saturn and Mars is conjunct, meaning that the vibration for which you operate in within Saturn is barriers or boundaries. So that's a prison cell. Now, the action that you have within that prison cell makes to decorate your bed. If you ain't been locked up, you don't understand what I'm talking about. But just understand that everybody in jail be in jail with different vibrations. It's some people that cook. It's some people that quilt. It's some people that braid hair. It's some people that chisel, like rock carvings and shit. It's some people that get jobs. It's some people that work on the yard. It's some people that work in rec. It's some porters that like do the cleaning. People that work in the kitchen. People that like to play cards. You can play in the basketball league. You could do all types of activities. Go to school. All of these particular things that you do in jail to get your mind off the fact that you're in jail. Now, a lot of people don't utilize the services and the opportunities that's in prison because they tripping off the fact that they in jail. And so the reality is, like Showstopper just said, the positive mindset that one has in whatever they experiencing is going to manipulate whatever situation that you think you might be feeling. So to the next person, they might be in jail, might be going through hell, and you might be feeling bliss and inner peace because you began to do the work. You began to do the exercises. You began to do the literacy. Right now, you could wake up have a routine, work out, do your reading, do your research, do all of the things that you need to do because you have the space and time to do so. However, if you tripping out on the mere fact of what's happening, then you trying to sound deep and decode shit on YouTube and shit sounding stupid. Like, cause you gotta understand, right? This virus, right? This Chris Brown shit, it's not been peer reviewed at all. So for anything to be actual factual in the realms of medical knowledge, it has to be peer reviewed, go through journals, and this process takes years. So the shit that you hearing on news is pure speculation. It's all magic. And that's the end all be all. When niggas start breaking this shit down, it's like they going down a rabbit hole of illusion. And so if you've been listening to this channel, even before all of this shit, I've been breaking down Maya, I've been breaking down glamour, and I've been breaking down illusion, so you able to pierce through this fog. Peace to Yafabe. Because before her, I wasn't doing no etymology, nothing. So all my etymology game is owed to her. But beyond that, you have to break this shit down based upon what you seeing and how you processing it, or else you will be caught up in this shit. So the problem is y'all acting like everything is going good. That's the problem. So the mere fact of people acting like things is going good is based upon the fact that you don't want people to think that you're going crazy. My thing is, you're supposed to be going, if you don't go crazy now, if you don't let go now, then, you know, I don't even understand. And letting go doesn't have to be negative. It could be positive. It could be restorative, and it could be positive in the realms that it could be structured. That's another thing about bidding. It's not like you let yourself go. It's that you really start to care about yourself. You timing shit. You journaling. You doing everything that you need to do. You in bed by a time, because by the time you go to bed, you so exhausted because you work so hard throughout the day on everything that you needed and wanted to do, because you have the time and space to develop you. You start looking good. You start feeling good because you working out, because you reading, because you drinking the water that you want. You not stressed. Because, like, if you don't know, the reason why women like dudes that's locked up is because they look good as hell. They different from dudes that's like, a dude that's in jail is way better than a dude that's on the streets. Just healthier. He's not eating grease. It just depends. It just depends on that person. So the idea then is allowing you to be positive in the realms of whatever negative situation you might find yourself in. And so, and this is Saturn and this is Mars. So Saturn is the boundary. Mars is that action within that boundary. You can make this place because you can walk in some person's cells and they got it real nice. It's like a home. They got a rug. They got a library, TV, bed. They got an exclusive comforter they mama sent them. You know, they bunk is nice. And then you might go in another person bunk, got fucking paraphernalia everywhere, all disheveled. And that's my story in jail, family. I don't know if I ever told y'all what woke me up into manhood, but it had everything to do with a messy bed. I would wake up every morning and my bed would be shit. And when I get back to my bunk or to my cell, my whole fucking cell would be trash. See, yo, they would every fucking day. I would wake up, go to breakfast, come back, my shit'd be trashed. Like, yo, these motherfuckers don't like me, they racist, I hate it here, so forth and so on. But I hated myself. What am I talking about? How did I know I hated myself? Everybody knew I hated myself. Why? Because of how I carried myself. Shirt not really tucked in, just real dingy, crusty. You know, I was really overweight too. All just indications that I didn't care about myself. I didn't love myself. And the reason why I kept getting my shit trashed is because I didn't make my bed. Every morning I just hop out of bed, go to chow, come back, shit trash. Like, fuck. Every single day. That shit used to irk me. And I thought it was them. Never thought it was me. Then I had to kind of, you know, being around men, I had to learn how to be one, you know. The best thing that ever happened to me because I had no real example of a man. So being around other men taught me how to, okay, make my bed. Take 5 minutes to make your bed, fold it. It'll be ready for you when you get to go to sleep at night. You know, when you hop in and bed be all made, feels good. I ain't started doing that. Got me some better clothes, started taking care of myself, started taking a shower every day. Sometimes twice a day. Just started just caring about myself. It got so bad that I forgot that I was even in jail. This shit got so crazy. I had girls, like real girls, like the girls that worked in the jail. They liked me, would bring me things and whatever I wanted. Like whatever I wanted, just whatever. Wasn't never nothing. This is how I felt about myself. So I'm giving people the opportunity to know that even in your darkest hour, you had the ability to begin to love and focus in on yourself. This is the beauty of being locked up, and I know all about it. Which is why I was talking about a lot of this shit earlier in my lives and things of that nature. Not knowing that this energy was coming subconsciously. I mean, consciously not knowing, but subconsciously knowing because this energy was coming up. And I was talking about it and I was experiencing it. But what I'm explaining to y'all is how I got free. And how I got free was by going crazy. Because the whole idea of being locked up is stressful. And to the point where you just like, you can't be stressed no more. So a lot of y'all is probably getting to that threshold. What they say these 2 weeks is going to be, quote unquote, the worst 2 weeks and such, so forth and so on, because that stress is building up. So knowing you, knowing your family, knowing the people around you, if you're not psychologically sound, then you probably going through hell. And then you got to go through another at least 30 days of this. So learning how to deal with the fact that it's not them, it's you. And it's not what they're doing, it's how you're responding. And then change that response from a fear to love of self. Begin to do the little things that you can do to better yourself. Everything tends to work out. And if you going crazy, go crazy, because doing the same thing over and over again and hoping for different results, that's crazy within itself. And another thing, you don't need much. Shouldn't be looking for much. Very much about knowing what's really, really important. The dung beetle teaches us about what's really, really important because it gets its food and it has its babies from shit. But it also moves with the light of the cosmic Milky Way, the highest intelligence of all species. Not even human beings can understand the potency of the Milky Way. Niggas still claiming birth signs and shit. Straight up. So, with that being said, understand the power of minimalism. understand the power of less is more, and understand the ability to kind of transcend all of these particular barriers and limits, because as Mars moves out of Saturn, as Jupiter moves past Pluto, energy is going to shift. It's not going to shift like right away because Jupiter has to go through its Saturn transit. But once Jupiter moves out of Saturn, a lot of this energy is going to free up because there is going to be no more minor planets conjuncting Saturn or Pluto. And Pluto is also going to be transiting in Capricorn, which is just setting the stage for change. So in between 2 to 3 to 4 weeks, all of this energy will shift. But there's a lot of people who are going to come out of this energy worst off, because if you know anything about being in jail, the person that panic is a person that gets dealt with. They get picked out. It's like dogs in there. They can sense fear. And when you fearful, you get taken advantage of, you get manipulated, you get scammed. So the idea is to look people in the eye and be confident and love yourself and know you're going to weather this storm. You know. So yeah, I think that's it. Oh, one more thing. Of course, we're going to discuss this quarter moon magic. Want to bring everybody's attention to the actual factual energy of a sun square moon. So whenever we have a sun square moon, the moon is going to square the sun in two places. There's a first quarter and then there's a second quarter. And these are representing particular pivots to energy based upon our intention. You should always know that your intention is not going to manifest exactly how you envision it. Therefore, when it doesn't, you'll be able to have a plan B or C. Sometimes people don't want that to happen. And so when things don't manifest exactly like they want, they imagine that the situation is over. And so that's why a lot of dreams don't come true. However, if you create a B, C, D, E plan for that initial plan A, then you somewhat securing or guaranteeing that the plan will succeed and you'll be successful. So this is why within our group, Spiritual Energy Technology, within our book, Manipulating the Matrix, we take real close attention to that second quarter moon and that first quarter moon. So within the first quarter moon this week, right, we're going into a quarter moon week. The idea is to revise, reconsider, and reorganize. This is the most healthy way to realize your shit. A lot of people don't want to do this step, but a lot of people don't want to manifest either. So understanding, giving yourself that space and time to change is going to actually give you that space and time to manifest. And all of this is a process. All of this is a process, but as we kind of said earlier, we're working with this energy. The money is available. I don't got to say or explain how the money is available. Even if you ain't have a job, you can file unemployment. And that might take a long time, but it's available. You should have been did it if you did lose your job. But beyond that, they gonna come up with a system to help ease that. That's gonna be available. Business loans, first come, first serve. So this is all first quarter moon shit. Filling out the forms and doing all the paperwork necessary to give you the energy or the resources or the money to empower your intention. And a lot of people now, they don't understand what their intention is, and that's perfectly fine. This is a perfect time to go within. Go within, sit in the center of your heart, and be in that center place. So, I'm just really delivering one page of notes. I did want to talk about the blue magic, but I think I'm gonna save that for tomorrow. But yeah, I definitely, because I want to do like a full blue magic talk, but I wanted to talk about this stuff too. So, in the case this information won over the blue magic, but the blue magic ain't going nowhere. Just type blue magic compendium in Google, and my shit'll be the first shit that pop up. It's not my shit, it's our shit, it's your shit, it's shit. And I'm using shit intentionally. Shout out to the dung Beetle. Give me a moment while I set up Tapped In so I can check in on the family, see how y'all doing. Colombian Exchange with an X. That's where you got all the latest drip. Readings, www.hoodmystic.com. Be sure to hit me up. Readings are on fire. So beyond that, let's get tapped in. So yes, family, we are tapped in. So be sure to let me give y'all the information just in case you forgot on the chat. I will put it's in the description, but I don't know the description. It seems like the description is real hard for people to access sometimes. I don't know. Or maybe it's just me. There go the link right there, family. There go the number. And I just do this because I'm just not into just one person doing all the talking. That shit weird. That shit weird, bro. It's like it get to a certain point where you can't just be talking to yourself all the time. You can't just do that. Yeah, that first quarter is where it's at. So stop at that first quarter, get you together, because that just lets you know that you ain't here for play. You here for real, and you ain't about to give up on nothing. You more or less looking for the shit. You more or less looking for the problems and solving those problems as they come, and those manifestings is more easily, effectively executed. So, family, how y'all doing? June bug larva. I'm gonna have to Google that. What's good, Prime? Prime Harmonic. Stay tuned for the information on how to breathe. It's all about learning how to manage and function in these particular days and times. And one of the most important functions is how to breathe. So, in a special way, we got to bring you that presentation, me and Prime, where it's not just, basic, regular, degular types of situation. Prime, if you got some time, give me a call. Maybe you could kind of reflect and inflect. It's always good to hear from Brother Prime if you got the time. I'm a poet and I did not even know it. Folks in my house are sleeping. I gotta be quiet. Yeah, that's the vibes for tonight. I'm in that same vibrational frequency. That's why I gotta kind of be a little hushy with the information. I ain't getting too excited, too geeked. But with all that being said, if everybody is in the bed, I don't know where these flows is coming to. Maybe I just need to, fall back and write a song. I did just kind of wanted to deliver this information to people so they can know that You know, it's okay to go crazy. It's okay to know how to bid. Whether you in the house or an essential employee, it's very important to have a positive mindset. And I know that's cliche, but I'm just here to remind you about the cliche shit. You know, you gonna hit this channel and I'm gonna hit you with some cliches. Cause sometimes you might need to hear those cliches, family. So, you know how it is. You said you teleworking tomorrow so you can speak. That'd be a good thing to do, Prime. That'd be very, very good. And Wednesday is Mercury Day. Hopefully people more social. But I did just want to deliver that drop because I know that somebody is going to need that information. But with all that being said, family, y'all have a good night, a wonderful evening. I think I might get on this OG cushy and you know, do some push-ups as I drift off to dreamland, family. So with all that being said, everybody have a wonderful night, and I'll see everybody tomorrow. Shout out to Lady Owl, got the workbook, working through it. I appreciate you. I just gave a notebook away to a young lady. So definitely work through those astrology workbooks. Everybody that's working through their workbook, getting some sense of self, it's only, helping the movement grow a little stronger. So, if you need any help with that, Lady Owl, be sure to email me so we can talk about it. But beyond that, everybody have a great night. And I'll see y'all all on the flip side. Peace, family.